joining us again for another video with Health Here, Health There. We're really lucky to have Allison with us today. She's got years and years of experience working with posture-related injuries, and she's going to give us some tips on how to improve your posture and help prevent those injuries early on.
Today we're going to talk about setting up jigs here at a computer site. So a good sitting position should be supportive so that the rest of our muscles turn off. And so it should be really comfortable, so when you get up from that position you actually feel just as good as when you sat down in that position. So the number one step, the first step to start with, is setting up the chair so you have your elbow level with the keyboard and mouse. So in this position, Jigs is actually in a perfect position, elbows level with the keyboard and mouse, and that way his arm is just hanging down beside him, and in this position he's not reaching forward, the mouse is handy, the keyboard is handy, and he's not overusing his shoulder muscles, so this is a good position. Now the next important position is pulling the chair in so his hips end up underneath his shoulder and his ear. In this position the neck muscles aren't working very much at all, and the shoulder muscles aren't working, and everything is lined up 90 degrees at the hips and the knees and the ankles. The next position is looking at the screen height, and we want to have the screen height so it is, the words are, the top of the text is level to his eyes. If you can't see it well, you should get glasses so that you can see that proper distance more easily. The font size should be large enough so that you can see it easily without peering your head in. The other important key factor is having the arms that aren't too long. So the chair needs to be pulled in, and if the arms are too long they will get in the way and you will want to reach and round forward. So we either want short arms on the chair or no arms at all. So we don't need arms on the chair when we're at the computer because this part of the arm is just hanging down with gravity and not doing any work. And when the chair is pulled in, it's just very easy for the arms just to be relaxed. So the only parts that should be working are the hands and the brain. So we don't want to be using all these other muscles in the body. So underneath Jig's feet here, we have also a little 1-inch old phone book, and that's just to give him better support on his sit bones. So this way he actually won't feel like wanting to round forward or lounging. If you are tired of this position, then it's great to get up and move around, change positions. So another good point is having an angled empty binder on your desk, either side, and a good 3-inch binder on its side will support a document. So it's angled, you can read it there, you can also write on it in that position, and it's easier to look up at the screen from there. If it's flat and you're writing on it, then you will have to round forward. But in this position it's a bit more angled, and even be higher than this. If you're doing much writing, then this is a good angle. But you can see it more easily being angled than looking flat down on the surface. So the other key point for sitting is that we really want the low back, the lumbar spine, to be pulled forward. So once it's forward, then the neck retracts back and is lined up. But if our low back rounds, then our head is forward, and the neck muscles are overworking, and our tight shoulder muscles work, the low back muscles are working too much, and we get into problems. So here we have Naomi sitting and reading, very comfortable, but she might end up with some neck pains and some low back pain. So we're going to set her up into a better sitting position. I'm going to start by actually getting Naomi to put her feet on this 1-inch old little directory or phone book. So that way it actually gives her hips a little bit more support. Also going to get Naomi to bring her hips back all the way to the back of the chair so they're supported there. And then I've rolled up a towel, a small bath towel. I have elastic bands around it. And I'm going to put it in her low back, her lumbar, above her buttocks, above her hips. And it should be at about where the top of the pants are. So in here it actually helps to line her up, but now she's still looking down at the book. So we're going to add a pillow, one pillow. This is a big one. And we're just going to get her to angle her book and again, we could use an empty binder there. So if she was sitting for a while and going to be reading a book, that would give her the angle to look at it. So now her neck is lined up in a better position. Her head and ears are more above her shoulder here, and it's angled. You can see that. So now we're just going to take the book away and the binder away, and we could put her laptop on her lap, but it should be on a pillow to actually give her a little bit more height on her lap and not be right on her legs. So this way we want to have the laptop so her elbow is level with the keyboard on the laptop. And so she has the support in her low back, and we can change this rolled up towel, and you can move on to actually an obus form lumbar roll, which is the same idea, but it has a strap around the back. Sorry. Okay. There you go. And we're going to put it down the back of the chair. So this will stay there all the time. When you get up from the chair, it will still stay there. When you sit down, you can just actually pull it up above your hips, and it's in the right place in the low back. And that looks like a good position for sitting. Okay, so here we have Jake's lying down using one pillow under his head. Doesn't look very comfortable, actually. And we talked about a lot of people, just want to put your arm underneath, support themselves by putting their arm underneath that way, but it's not very comfortable for that bottom shoulder. So instead, we're going to put in the second pillow, and again, most of the world is worried about two pillows being too high. But we actually want to fill in the full width of his shoulder. So Jake's has a good sort of 7-inch shoulder sticking out. So we want we want 2 pillows, medium-sized pillows, to fill in the width of his shoulder. But it doesn't give very much support to his neck. So I've rolled up a bath towel, and I'm going to put this bath towel inside the pillowcase. The inside corner, yeah. And then he's going to lie down, and then this rolled up towel fills in the curve of his neck. Now we can put this arm in underneath, not to support, but just loosely, just so it puts it out of the way. And in that way we're getting him to get some good support for his head. And then the spine follows along from his neck down to his low back, and we want it to be horizontal. And we're going to put a third pillow down in between his knees, just to keep the top knee level with his hip. So we're just looking for good support. So he's actually in a neutral position sleeping at night. And when you get into a good position, you don't keep turning and turning looking for that really good position. So we want the pillows to do the work and for his muscles to relax while he's in that position. So in this position, Jake's now has 2 pillows under his head and neck to support his 7-inch shoulder. So with our shoulders sticking out, we want to fill in the full width of the shoulders. We rolled up a bath towel inside the top pillowcase, inside edge, so it now gives a nice support, nice bridge to the curve in his neck. And he can have his underarm just there, but we're putting it out of the way. He's not really supporting his head on top of it, so it's not making the muscles work hard on that right shoulder. And we've also put another pillow down between his knees, and this just keeps the top knee level with the hip, and he's in a really neutral position in this position. He's not rotated or turned. And when you have a good position, then your muscles aren't looking for more support. So you won't keep turning and turning all night and being restless, looking for that great position. So by supporting yourself with the pillows, that should do the job, and you can have a good night's sleep. So a good posture should make you feel great. It has everything lined up. Your lungs have more room to get good oxygen intake, and all the organs, your digestive organs, have more room to do their job. So it only gives you benefits, and the idea is to just feel good and to prevent further injuries or any injuries. So when your head is lined up on top of your shoulders and your shoulders are on top of your hips, hips on top of your feet, you are just not tightening all those muscles that run into chronic problems.